I have this belief that if a product is good and serves its purpose well, despite the price tag, it's worth it. Like for example, Mario Odyssey. It's a game that costs 60 bucks and even though it's not cheap, at least I would say so, for what you're given, it's 100% worth it. Or hell, even Spider-Man 2, which is a $70 game and despite the $10 edition, it's a very good game in my opinion and it's worth the price tag. And yeah, I hate to admit it, but we're getting to a point where we have to pay $70 for games, as things are more expensive. But I feel like it's getting to a point where people are like, this is too much, I won't be able to pay for this anymore. Which leads to the topic of this video. If you haven't heard, there is a lot of controversy surrounding Nintendo's pricing in their new installment in the Mario Kart series, Mario Kart World. If you don't know, the game costs not 60, not 70, but $80 and 90 if you're getting the physical release. Massive air quotes on physical because it's technically not, but I'll get into that later. Now, I don't think I need to discuss the problem with this because Nintendo puts a $60 price tag on almost every game they put out. The only exception being Tears of the Kingdom, which was a very big game and was a major installment in the Legend of Zelda franchise. And also, Tears of the Kingdom released in 2023, 6 years after the Switch was released. So in my opinion, it completely justifies the extra $10. However, Mario Kart Worlds is a launch title. And again, that game, digitally, costs $80. Tap that off with the Switch 2's price tag sitting at $450. And again, Mario Kart Worlds is a launch title, so $80 for a launch title is freaking insane. And charging $10 more for the physical edition is also even more crazy. Going from your standard 60 bucks price tag to 80 is insane. Like, I'm already spending a lot of money on your new console, so charging me 80 bucks for this is malarkey. Like, don't you think that's a little much? I mean, listen, this is not me saying that the game does not look like a promising kart racer. An open world kart racer, that sounds really fun, and I really like its way of progression. But do I still think it's worth it? No. Now, I really, really wanted to convince myself that maybe, just maybe, that Nintendo will listen to the fans and make the game go at a price drop, or at the very least, make it go on sale. But then I remembered, this is Nintendo we're talking about here, so I don't think there's going to be any sales at all anytime soon. So yeah, I think it's pretty safe to assume that the price of these games will stay how they are from when they are released. And what's even worse is that the game is going to cost more when you buy the physical edition, and again, I will get to that when I get to it. And of course, it's not the only game to be doing this type of physical release BS because the new Donkey Kong game is coming out and it costs $70, which is not as bad as the $80 that Mario Kart World is going for. But the problem is it's going to be costing $80 for the physical release, which leads me to my next problem. Physical media. Now, I am a huge fan of physical media, and anyone who knows me can tell you that I will support physical media until I die. And I despise it when people say that we don't need physical media anymore because it's a very dumb argument to make. Because the best part about owning a physical copy of a game is that you can install and play it without an internet connection. Okay, cool. What's the issue here, you might be asking? Well, let this quote from the official Nintendo customer support website do the talking. Quote, game key cards are different from regular game cards because they don't contain the full game data. Instead, the game key card is your key to downloading the full game to your system via the internet. End quote. That's right, instead of just inserting the card and, installing it like how it's supposed to be, the game's not even on the cartridge itself. This is a quote also from the official website. Quote, the game itself isn't included on the game key, so you'll have to download it before you play. Why? What's even the point if I'm going to install it through an internet connection? Like, what's the point of having a physical release of a game if you're going to give me a code and I have to enter it in somewhere so I can download it, and not to mention I need an internet connection for that? Like, I'm not saying this is, super terrible or anything because, who doesn't have internet access these days, but it's just a hassle and, why even, make a physical release? Like, I don't get what's so bad about me having the game, in a cartridge and just putting it in and playing it. Like, I don't get what's so bad about that, Nintendo. Please tell me why make me go through all these extra steps for me to actually play a game that I want to play? As a physical media lover, I just see this as like a big middle finger to everyone who likes physical media more than digital media because, all hail the all digital future, I guess, or whatever the hell. Oh, and by the way, let me remind you if you forgot, you're technically not owning the games. Yeah, remember that? You're not even, just buying the game to own it so you can play. No, no, no. You're getting a license to the game. So basically, you're spending $80 so you can, play a license for a game. That BS practice. And I have a question for anyone that's watching this, somehow, and you're like associated with this type of BS. Why are you confused on why people pirate your games? Like, I don't want to promote piracy, it's illegal and whatever the hell, but don't get mad at customers for trying to find a way around your crappy business practices because, in all honesty, you deserve it. You and your company deserve it if you're doing any of this type of thing. But, who am I kidding? This video is not going to do anything. They're not going to listen to me or you. And, it shows how anti consumer this business practice is. Anyway, sorry about that little rant. I just had to say that. Oh, and if I hadn't made it clear, I don't support piracy. It's illegal and you should never do it at all. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll catch y'all later. See ya.